we like to cleanly categorize human behavior. It feels safe to believe the world is divided into normal people and narcissists, picturing monsters, villains, and tyrants entirely disconnected from our own lives. Take Joseph Stalin. He represents the extreme edge of this condition, what Robert Greene calls the deep narcissist. Stalin demanded absolute validation from everyone in his orbit. He executed advisors for mild disagreements and rewrote history books to construct the grandiose reality where he was the sole hero of the state. This ego destroyed everyone around him. Stalin lacked the capacity for empathy, viewing the deaths of millions as mere statistics rather than human tragedies. But Greene presents an uncomfortable truth. We are all narcissists. We are born seeing the world as an extension of ourselves, and we never fully outgrow that infant state. No human is exempt from this trait. You exist somewhere on this map, and identifying your coordinates is the first step in understanding how your ego is secretly driving your decisions. This sliding scale maps the spectrum of narcissism. Stalin occupies the far left. Toward the center is the functional narcissist, charismatic, high achievers, using validation as fuel. Their empathy remains transactional. Further in, the inverted narcissist appears humble, but their excessive self-criticism is intensely self-focused. We also see the communal narcissist, who uses public displays of generosity to generate admiration. They feel entitled to gratitude and are wounded when their selfless acts go unnoticed. The goal is to reach the state of the healthy narcissist. By building a stable emotional foundation, they can afford to look outward and develop genuine curiosity about other people's experiences. Narcissism is most dangerous when it is disguised, appearing as your boss's drive, your partner's insecurity, or your own performative charity. To understand why we move toward one end of the spectrum or the other, we have to look at what Greene calls the narcissistic wound. At some point in childhood, every person experiences a painful disconnection from the unconditional validation they once received. This fracture becomes the blueprint for every future relationship. This fracture creates three pathways. The overcompensating child demands endless attention, while the perfectionistic child chases achievement. Learning love requires success. The third is the avoidant adult, who builds emotional walls, dismissing intimacy because seeking love led to pain. Recognizing which of these three pathways you have followed allows you to see the mechanics of your ego before they drive you back toward the destructive end of the spectrum. The cure for the wound is deep empathy. This goes beyond surface-level mirroring or the analytic empathy a therapist uses to diagnose a patient. The most effective tier is visceral empathy, the ability to temporarily abandon your own self-focus to inhabit another person's specific experience. This starts by silencing your internal narrator and suspending snap judgments. The moment you label someone as insecure or typical, you have stopped seeing their actual reality. Before an interaction, spend 60 seconds visualizing the specific pressures and fears the other person is facing. When you meet, absorb their mood before you speak. This creates a quality of response that others experience as genuine wisdom. In a world where most people listen only to respond, this level of focus provides significant social leverage. It allows you to see the motives and needs that others miss. Stalin's inability to see past himself led to systemic paranoia and eventual isolation. By contrast, those who can set aside their ego to inhabit another's perspective gain a level of trust and loyalty that raw authority cannot buy. That is the real distinction between being a prisoner of your own self-love and achieving true social influence.